So we're heading into FOMC tomorrow with NAS. We're looking real good. We're looking real good. Price is still holding above 20,800, the previous all-time highs, and we're still retesting this previous structure as well. Specifically on the weekly, right? Specifically right here, we see this weekly structure being respected. Again, retesting previous all-time highs as well. So this is a hot zone for sure. For sure. Very, very nice rejection. 800 plus point rejection from the area. Insane movement all within just 1 week, right? Super clean. Super clean. We're also, it looks like we have 2 days left and 18 hours left on this candle, but as long as we close back above the previous weekly low, as long as we close back above here, we should still be good. Price is still bullish. All it wanted to do was sweep some liquidity, and definitely did that. Definitely did that more than enough. So now, as we see fit, we're just allowing price to give us more confirmations, and it has. Definitely has. Okay, as you see, that's the previous week low. Just an indication. Again, we got some nice closure back within it. Now we're looking at the previous daily low here, the previous daily high. And as long as we, keep closing above previous highs, we should be good. Right, this is the next target. We want to close above these highs and then next these highs, and then potentially come back into this gap here and give us the move back down. Let us know what it wants to do. If it wants to respect the structure here, continue to make higher highs and higher lows. But I know once we get back in here, we may have some trouble. So I'm not in any real rush, to be honest. I'm just going to allow price to do its thing and play out. But we do have some entries back down here. We called these out in the chat yesterday. Super clean reaction, over 400 point move to the upside. Super clean structure, and yeah, super solid. As of right now, price is up here. It is still giving some like reaccumulation, but it's super weak. We're pretty high up right now, and then once we get into this area, we may have some major trouble. So we're going to allow price to play out, do its thing. If you want to get the best type of buys, right, the safest buys, you want to be looking for sweeps of liquidity, the previous day lows down in here. If we want to look at the Fibonacci settings, boom, you can catch this as well right in there. 50% should be right there. Let me see. Boom, it's right there. Yeah, so the discount zone is way lower. It's going to be right near the previous daily low anyway. So it's going to be up to you what you want to do. You can either catch the continuation here at this retest where this 4-hour order block is. The imbalance starts as well. You can catch this retest area. Or if price really does want to go lower and give you some lower options, again, you can always catch this back here. Price again has been respecting this whole entire zone for a while now, for a couple days, couple weeks. I know we have FOMC coming in tomorrow, so we should see some more volatility in the market, right? Some more emotional damage. Just the usual drama. If you look at US 30, very similar structure. Price has been respecting these highs as well. Price has already moved about 250 points from these highs on Dirty 30, right? We do have some lower options as well if it wants to give us some lower options and opportunities down here. But again, just like NAS, well, actually US 30 is closer to all-time highs. NAS still has some ways to go. SPX as well, very close to all-time highs. So I'm trying to understand where the disconnect is right now, so we're going to find out as well. I have a feeling right? Or not a feeling, right? We don't trade off emotions, but with all these gaps, it looks like price may want to come here and just give a nice discount one last time before we truly take off. Otherwise, we have to just blow through this with this massive liquidity. And FOMC is tomorrow. FOMC is tomorrow, right? Red folder news. It's a pretty impactful day. On Wednesday, we're going to be live trading this tomorrow as well. So we get to see this live in action. And then Thursday as well, this whole week, lots of volatility. So honestly, anything can happen. Anything can happen on these three. The potential looks greater on NAS with us not really being too close to all-time highs compared to US 30 and SPX. And we have this huge gap right in here. Price couldn't even hold these previous daily highs. Is that a weekly high? Yeah, these previous weekly highs. Price couldn't even hold this. We closed above it last week. This week it gapped beneath it. Right, what does that mean? What does that mean? Why is price doing that? That's insane work. That's manipulation. So something is drawing our attention to this area. Right? So as long as price respects the structure, as long as price stays beneath these lows here, we should be good. I understand people want to catch, the smaller time frame entries and maybe minimize their stop losses. You can use essentially any one of these lows. You can use this previous day low or this previous day low. It's up to you, right? If you do close above these highs, then whatever new lows we make in this area, I probably would use those as my new stop loss to continue the move up as well. If we do break structure to the upside, confirming more bullishness. And then the same thing, if we actually do come into this gap and price doesn't sell off aggressively and we actually get a full body candle close above the highs and we start to create some more accumulation here, then I will personally be adding on buys right there. Anytime I see an accumulation in a distribution area, I'm definitely going to follow the accumulation to stick to that. If it gets cooked, it is what it is. You guys know where to find the lower entries, the lower risk entries. Anytime you are buying at a premium, you got to just know in the back of your mind that it's a possibility that it could get cooked. But if you're under leveraging, you're not going crazy, you're doing some test trades, nothing of the sort, then you should be good to handle some type of drawdown. If anything, you can also catch the lower entries as well. I like to use the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame. I like to use big stop losses, right? And even if you come look at this structure here, technically these buys, right? These buys that we've been catching, these continuations, that's all coming from this setup over here, right? The liquidity being built up. We got the sweep of these lows and then we broke these highs. We came back for the retest, got a nice discount price. Price flew and it's coming back to the same setup here. So technically, this should be your stop loss if you're trading based off of this accumulation schematic here, right? That should be your technical stop loss if you want to get, right to it. But that's about 800 points. Can you handle 800 points of drawdown? Not saying it's going to happen. As we see here, there was, no drawdown, barely any drawdown from the entry, about 150, 60 pips. And again, we did get discount buys. This is the inauguration, the election. Trump won right here. Boom, price flew. Right, if we use this right here, we got a nice 50% and below. We had an imbalance fill over the course of a few days and price continued and did its thing. And then once it came back, it really came back and respected the structure. Didn't really give you any type of drawdown. So even though your stop loss would have been down here, you're still good. RR is still good. You risked 100 to make, If you're in these trades still, you're up 800. If you're in the positions that we took yesterday, you're up at least 400 points. Right? If you got into any one of these positions, 400 here. I had buy limits at this level, and this level, and this level. Just boom. Passive. Come back later, check. You're all activated. I'm like, bet. Once I saw price give the confirmation, I saw price do this. Liquidity, sweep. Like all this counts as the sweep of these lows. And then we break above these highs here. Once that happened, I marked up some area. I'm like, okay, cool. Buy limits here. And then I had a buy limit here and a buy limit here. So when price worked its way down, it slowly activated each one. And then as it worked its way back up, it gave you more confirmation. Had a low, a high, the sweep, break above, retest, confirming this original play, and then even giving you another one here, right? We had a low, a high, the sweep, break above. You got a retest here of these highs, and price just continues to give you more and more signs of bullishness. So that's how you're able to just lock in the trade and have even the confidence to hold it. Right? If you're ever wondering, should I take profit? Should I pull out? Check what's happening. What does the structure tell you? Is it giving you more signs of bullishness or bearishness? But as we do approach these areas, make sure you guys are managing a risk. Whatever you're doing with your stop loss, taking partials, taking profits, doing something with that just in case we get a nasty pullback. Sometimes the market just drops and you got 5 seconds to take profit or you're cooked. So got to figure it out. But yeah, what else are you guys looking at? You guys have any questions? That's pretty much it for NAS. Let me go over crypto as well. I know we got some crypto plays. We're still in these Bitcoin buys. Right, we're still riding off of this structure here. We have liquidity being built up, the sweep, break above, multiple retest over and over and over, still holding. We even came deeper, but we're still respecting these lows right in here. And as price is building up structure at this area, let's go down to the 1 hour. We see that we are still giving more confirmations. It all started here once we broke above these highs. That was the first break of structure or change of character. We had lows that were swept right there. So we swept these lows with this wick, and then we broke above these highs right in here with the full body candle. That was the confirmation. And then we came back for a nice retest. And price has been respecting that, breaking more structure here and here. So this still looks good to go. We should still be good. It's still giving accumulation, no signs of distribution yet with current price action. Yes, we have some sell opportunities over here, but right now we are getting accumulation. So we should just hold on to that for now, unless we get more signs. And if we ever do come lower, we have a whole discounted setup over here. Liquidity, build up, the sweep. We broke above right here, the highs, right? Full body candle. We got the retest right at the highs, and then price flew. Right, price flew over, 12,000 points to the upside. Just off the retest of the highs as well. This is, especially with Bitcoin, this is another reason why, even at the top, I'm doing test trades, because this shit is insane. I'm definitely going to catch that right there. And let me go to the daily. We're still pretty high though in general. Like if you really want to get technical, if you go to the monthly on Bitcoin, technically, if you want the discount, it's going to be all the way back down here, retesting this imbalance, around 80,000. That's the real discount. So we'll see what happens up in here. But as of right now, these previous monthly lows haven't been violated We're still looking pretty good. There's 2 days and 20 hours left on this candle. If we do end up closing above, one of these previous monthly highs back in here with the full body candle around 99, 100,000 psychological numbers, that'll be a good indication that this may be the new floor and price would want to continue from these levels. And we can just see price, fly. And there's other imbalances here as well. All this right here is imbalance that never got filled. Price as well. Originally, another reason why, even at the highs, I will still take it, because this is a low, this is a high. We sweep, we break above, and we only retested the break and retest. And again, anytime you have an imbalance candle like this, if you don't get the break and retest, that means you have imbalance. The break and retest balances out the market. As you can see here, these wicks came back and balanced out this candle, right? This one is still imbalanced. We still have this gap right here. So why? Because we never got the break and retest. But if we did, it would have been balanced. But again, sometimes price will just take off. Boom. It won't really come back sometimes. So that's why I just under leverage, test trade it, try it out. And if it goes and draw down, it is what it is, because you have a bigger zone. You're using a bigger zone. And going to the weekly, again, we're still holding above. If you look at these previous weeks, we closed with the full body, again, above those initial highs, right? The first highs we closed above. We've been holding above here. Again, 100,000, 90,000. Still good. Still good. If we can even get a close above here, these highs, right? We tried to close here. We just wicked above. Try to close here, more wicks. We try to close above here. This candle's closing in the next 4 days and 20 hours. So if we can finally get after 2 weeks, 2 weeks of liquidity sweeps, and first we swept these highs right here with this candle, right? This candle came and swept these highs, and then this candle here came and swept these highs and these highs. So just a lot of sweeps. But even though we got swept, even though the sellers got swept, price didn't really sell off too hard. Like, these liquidity sweeps up here were not enough to allow price to come and break previous lows down here. Like, these lows are still being respected. So the sellers came in hot, sold off like 10 racks, 10 bands. Like, okay, cool, that's cute. But if you really want to take out the sellers, you gotta drop another 15 racks. And they're like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna catch these buys. All right, we're gonna stand on business, hold the line, and that's what we're doing. Same thing with Ethereum. I'm watching Ethereum closely. On the weekly, we still haven't closed beneath the previous week lows. Right, and even that's a stop loss right there. Right, most people have their stop losses there, and just like my boy Chris, I like the way he put it. He said his stop loss is the actual close, because price can come and sweep your stop loss multiple times, but if it doesn't actually close beneath with the full body candle with the stop, then it's not truly violated. It's still active. Still active. Right, let me see if I can draw this out real quick. For example, you have liquidity being built, right? And then price comes in, sweeps the lows, breaks above the highs. So you probably have a buy limit at the top. Well, I know I do. A buy limit here at the top. Another one here where the sweep was. Boom. Another one even at the stop loss sometimes. Especially if I'm on a smaller time frame. I'm definitely putting a buy limit at the stop loss. Like if this is like a 15-minute time frame, right? And there's like multiple setups I'm definitely putting buy limits at the stop loss, because what if price doesn't want to respect the break and retest, filling in this imbalance, right? Because this push up more than likely made an imbalance, right? So when it comes back to retest, now the imbalance is filled. But if it doesn't want to come and just fill the imbalance and wants to go lower, maybe there were some order blocks down here, sometimes it'll sweep your stop loss and then continue. But if it doesn't close with the full body candle, that trade is technically still active. That's why it's important to go up a time frame or two and see, was it a liquidity sweep or was it an actual close? Because on the daily, we actually did close below, right? But on the weekly, it's looked like it wants to come back in here, and this candle closes in 19 hours. A lot can happen in 19 hours. So if we close back in here, we can almost, assume price wants to continue higher. And then once we break previous daily highs with a full body, we can start stacking on more orders, because now a break of structure completes the accumulation schematic, right? Again, anytime you break structure, it marks the completion of the accumulation phase, right? It is the same thing over and over. Once you finally break that structure, boom, we broke that structure. Now the setup is complete. All you have to do is wait for the retest, because we broke structure. And it's not going to look like this all the time. It can literally be just like this, a candle closing above a high. Because when you go to smaller time frames, that's what it looks like, the one that I just drew. But on this time frame, it looks just like a candle closing above. I'm like, okay, that just looks like a candle, yeah. But on the 15 minute, on the 1 hour, it's actual structure playing out. Right? We're holding on for dear life right now with Ethereum. It's holding these lows. We've already given the setup here. Let's go to like the 30 minute. Right? We have some setups over here, another one here, some accumulation. Boom, sweep, break above. We got that retest. There's more over here as well, just not as clean as this one, but yeah, still holding up. And then as we see here, price is breaking structure to the upside. Right, that's just more accumulation. So price is looking good for now. We'll see. But I want to see us close above these highs first. We got to get above some highs. That's the only way. That's the only way. XRP on the weekly. It's looking real good. Let's go to the monthly real quick. We came to the all-time highs, swept it. Everyone took profits here. It's probably the best place to take profits. Partials. And as we see, again, we had this imbalance candle. We had an imbalance here. Boom, price came back to retest these highs. Balancing this portion. We never got the retest down there. So that's why we still have this gap in between. That's still technically imbalance. But price doesn't have to go back down there, but it's always an option. We also close above these highs here. And see how we got this break and retest right off that. And then prices did come lower. Right, let's say you had entries here. It flew. You probably took some partials. It came all the way back. Now you got maybe like 2 or 3 entries in drawdown. But then you have more buy limits at these other structures. You get in again. More stacks. Boom. Now these are back in profit. Boom. And just floating. Just floating. Chilling. Riding the wave. Riding the wave. So XRP looks like it's ready to go. That weekly rejection was crazy. All I want to see now is some breaks above some highs. One of these highs, I want to see we get, just break above. This is the daily time frame. I want to see some breaks above some highs. These highs. One of these. I need to see some kind of break of structure to the upside to get real excited. Gold. We're right back at the all-time highs again. Right around 2,800. We broke some structure here. Never got the full retest. Right? You don't have to get the full retest, but it's just an indication of what this is. We broke some structure here. We also broke some structure here. It's looking good to continue. I just want to see us get above these highs. Otherwise, price may give us one more pullback. And again, anytime you're looking at structure, pull out your fib, go from the swing lows to the most recent highs, and then see what your discount would be. Always keep that in mind. Right? I'm doing this for y'all. Me personally, I know exactly where these points are. So looking halfway and below. Right? But we need to get this structure broken above. Otherwise, if price comes back down here, this may be a better area if we don't break from here. All right, either we break out of this, get the retest and continue, or we come lower and get some lower entries right in there. It's probably like the 786, 886 area. Yep. Boom. Sniper entry. Breaking above more structure. So we're looking good. We're still holding these buys from back here as well. Still in that. We got a couple more buy limits in here as well. So we'll see. Silver, not too much. Oil did come to the buy zone. I just didn't get in. I was too deep in ETH. I don't want to overdo it. But oil did come to the zone. Retesting the structure fairly nice. Again, stop loss would have been here. But as we see on a higher time frame, it was just a wick. Right, we just got a wick. We swept these lows, tapping into this imbalance, almost giving the retest that would have, balanced out this price action, making it healthy. But super, super key area. Lots of liquidity, lots of buying pressure right there. Super clean. Right, so we'll see where this goes next. Do we break more highs or do we sweep more liquidity first before continuing? But so far, oil looks like it can continue. Maybe. Looking kind of rough. We didn't even get above these highs, but we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. Euro USD. Bussin'. Going crazy. I don't really trade this, but I know my boy Brandon does. I'm not sure if he's on here. And again, if you guys have any charts you want to go over, let me know. Right? I got you. All right. But yeah, US 30 is busting right now. We're breaking structure to the upside. If you just look at current price action, we most recently broke above these highs. Right? This is the most recent structure that we broke above on this time frame, the 4 hour. If I go to the daily, we can even use this. Right? That's probably even more accurate. It's a higher time frame. Go to the weekly real quick. It would be down here, but technically the week candle hasn't closed, so we have to use the daily. Right? We closed above the previous daily highs as well. So this is also now in balance. So unless we get the retest, we will be leaving the imbalance. Same thing back here. We had an imbalance. We got the retest. Boom. Right. We had some retests here. Right. We actually broke structure. Price came back. Maybe you had a buy limit here and here. Price went deeper than you thought. But we never actually closed beneath these lows. So you're still good to hold that trade. Right? Maybe you had an entry here at this sweep. Boom. Nasty work. Very nasty work. NAS is giving that push. So, by tomorrow, I want to see, for us to have confidence that NAS will continue bullish, we need to close above one of these previous daily highs. That's the only way. Otherwise, we may see some more bearishness. And even if we do close above these highs, we got to be careful here for signs of distribution. But if I see accumulation schematics on the 15-minute and above inside of an area where price would be selling psychologically, I'm still going to take the buys. Because if price were going to sell, they would give some type of distribution. And even if they give accumulation and then the accumulation gets clapped, I can live with that. I can live with getting clapped on accumulation schematics. That's perfectly fine. You can't win them all, but you can catch them all, right? But yeah, any questions? Any questions for me? Any comments, concerns, any charts you want to look at?
Yo, what are your thoughts, Will? What's up, man? What are your thoughts on AMD?
AMD. I haven't looked at it, but let me take a gander. Let's take a gander. Well, I see that we broke this structure right at 97. People might look at 100 just to be psychological. But yeah, I for buys, low risk, I definitely look there first. Like off rip. Right, that's a clean break and retest. Where we broke structure, never retested it. That's on that time frame. Right, we have some accumulation right in here. Already, I see that AMD, it's actually about to retest the next buy zone, which would be here at 111. We broke
Yeah,
this structure, never retested, so that also fulfills the imbalance as well. We swept these lows right before price took off and closed above, these highs. Maybe you want to use these highs, or honestly, it doesn't really matter which one. Same concept, but we swept these lows, broke above these highs, so this is your accumulation. So for buys, I'd be looking right here. Stop loss being here, like you said, a full body candle close, so you don't get faked out. You know what? I might have to get this myself. This is actually fire. You can target any highs. Technically, you can target these highs. You can partial out at every high, because at every time you come to a structure on any time frame, there's a chance for price to reverse at every sweep of a high, and vice versa for buys. Anytime price comes to like a monthly, weekly, or a daily high, those are areas where you should be either taking partials, profit, or getting into a trade. Everything else in between is just noise. So the higher the time frame, the better. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. Everything else in between is just noise and emotional damage, but the liquidity is going to be on the outside, where the institutions and the smart money got in and manipulated the market. But yeah, you can target any one of these highs. Pretty healthy price action, no imbalances left over. I would even go for the all-time highs at that point. That would be a swing position. Yeah, this is nasty. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in that personally. What else? What else? That's it. You guys are good. You guys are grounded. You got your wits about you. All right. See you guys next time. Stay blessed.